You know, another financial term that an entrepreneur may hear when they're looking to raise money for their business is a term called EBITDA. And what is EBITDA? Well, EBITDA is really an acronym. It stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. The second question is usually, well, why is it important? What EBITDA does is it strips away a lot of the structural and non-cash expenses associated with the company and allows an investor to make an apples-to-apples comparison of different companies for which they may be considering for investment. The question then usually comes up as, well, aren't interest, amortization, and depreciation all legitimate expenses? And the answer to that is yes, they are. And interest, as are interest and taxes. In fact, interest and taxes are even cash expenses. But at the end of the day, those expenses are more structural than they are operational. So what our investors try to do when they're trying to get a real sense of the company and the earnings potential is to strip away all of those structural expenses and look at the real income generated by the operations. What this does is it allows the investor to make some really, again, apples-to-apples comparison against different companies that they may be considering for investment. A couple of watch-outs regarding EBITDA. First of all, it should not be used as an inference of cash flow or a shortcut to cash flow. It's always a temptation, but again, it shouldn't be used as a shortcut because EBITDA comes from the income statement. And the income statement is very susceptible to the interpretation of accounting principles and GAAP guidelines. I would caution anyone against using it as a surrogate to cash flow. Second thing about EBITDA is that it's a good internal metric for management in that it shows management the performance of a company within the boundaries of their own influence. If an entrepreneur has any questions about EBITDA or would really like to dig into it and understand it and maybe do some EBITDA calculations for their own company, I would encourage them to give us a call at the Capital MatchPoint, because at the end of the day, we see this a lot and we're here to help maximize our entrepreneurs' opportunity to get funded.